Welcome back to Blind Item Breakdown. Our first item is about the Kardashians and Ray J's family. It reads, the illiterate reality star basically said she hates poor people. If it wasn't for your sister making an sex tape and getting a break after stealing 6 figures from her boyfriend's mom, all of you would be poor. Now, I do remember in the early days, there was a moment where Ray J's family got involved with Kim because Kim was doing some closet shopping for them and then spent some money, or at least the Kardashians spent some money on a credit card that was in fact not theirs. But this comment reads, it has to be Kourtney. She was at a protest and when they interviewed her, she could barely put a sentence together. And I want to talk about that moment because it is so incredibly cringe. Now, I understand why Kourtney is stressed. Everyone in Los Angeles is stressed with all the fires and we don't want the debris to be in our neighborhoods, but it looks like there is a stop in Calabasas, a landfill, where they're putting a lot of this toxic material. Well, you guys know Kourtney, she's all about the environment and, healthy living. So she's literally on the ground at these protests, standing up and trying to bring some attention to this cause to put the trash somewhere else in probably a more poor neighborhood than her rich Calabasas. She says Calabasas has always cared about the environment and the health and happiness of its citizens. And with its no smoking rule, plastic bag ban, plastic straw ban, and bright sky ordinance, no light pollution, it's illegal to throw away batteries for construction sites. So there's a bunch of rules in Calabasas. So I can understand, how do they get to go and put this toxic material there with all these rules? But again, it's an unprecedented event. We're not used to everything catching on fire. Now, Kourtney Kardashian's response when being interviewed at this protest reminds me of when I was in school and the teacher would ask on me to answer a question and I had literally no idea what we were talking about. She's just talking in circles.
Kourtney Kardashian was among the demonstrators.
And there's many cases of times where there's been toxic things put around neighborhoods and the wind blows and it's like then the whole town gets cancer. So
what are you doing? Wait, so the wind blows and the entire town gets cancer?
We're here to just make it known that we're not okay with this and that toxic chemicals and ash do not belong in a community where there's kids and families and people work here and there's...
It's interesting, okay, I understand her sentiments, but where does she want it to go? She just wants it to go to another neighborhood with other kids and other families?
Like Calabasas is a place that cares about our citizens and their health and happiness.
Recently, Khloe made some headlines as well. Khloe feels urgency to stockpile cash by selling her kids' clothing despite backlash. Khloe is coming under fire for hawking her kids' clothes online after thousands of people lost everything in the devastating fires. And she's aware of the fires because her sister is protesting in regards to them. But a source claims that Khloe has zero guilt about selling her children's clothing, and she's laughing off the critics while looking at even more ways to bring in extra cash. Because I guess she doesn't have enough. Seriously. Khloe faced intense scrutiny after posting an ad on Instagram featuring her son Tatum, who she shares with Tristan Thompson, that mess, wearing a hoodie that's now up for sale. Writing, they grew up too fast. Shop Tatum's looks now on the Kardashian Closet. That website where they put all their dirty used clothing on for sale. Way too expensive. To be clear, Khloe is selling her kids' used clothing, which for most families is either handed down or donated once grown out of. A lot of people don't go and just resell their things unless you're a Depop person and you've got some special pieces. Here's the reality. Insurance companies often do not want to pay you. If you are injured in an accident, their job is to delay, deny, and underpay. And they get away with it when people don't know their rights. That's why you might need Morgan & Morgan. They are the biggest injury law firm in the country. They've secured billions of dollars for their clients, including a $12 million settlement in Florida. And that is 34 times what the insurance company originally offered. And unlike other firms, they don't just settle cases for quick cash. If the insurance company does not pay up, then Morgan & Morgan is happy to take them to court. And the best part, you don't pay anything unless they win your case. If you have been injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan and use my link forthepeople.com/Sloan or scan the QR code on the screen and you can file your claim right now. It takes minutes. You probably could finish one before the end of this video. The consultation is free. The process is simple. There's nothing to lose. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. One person wrote, the amount that they're charging for these kids' clothes are like pennies to them too, so just effing donate them. They're so gross. Another comment reads, it's beyond embarrassing and reprehensible. Pretty soon they're gonna start selling Timmy's clothes as well. There are children in the foster care system with just a trash bag full of their things to take from house to house. Meanwhile, she's selling her kids' effing clothes, one person noted. Khloe doesn't care though. Fans are willing to pay for it, and she loves buying clothes for her kids. If she can keep their shopping fund stocked by reselling their gently used items, she will, and she has no shame in her game about it. Comment below, what do you think of that? I think it's just, I mean, I can understand, like, you know, being a hustler and those things, but she's at like the top, like, 1%. Like, she really doesn't need to be doing that. And plus, like, literally her neighborhood just burnt down and people need things. It's like maybe just this 1 year you could skip and donate those clothing. And what makes it even worse is that you're not even getting a deal for these items. You can go and get them for new, not even used by a Kardashian, for cheaper.
These tights are what the whole hoopla is about. These 3 pairs they're selling for $20. But you can get the exact same thing from Target for $6.99. Wow, that's a really good price for a 3-pack, actually. One thing that does confuse me though is if these are lightly used clothes, why is it in the package? Is it just in the package in the picture? Or are they not even wearing them? They're just clothes they bought and resold? Like, I'm not sure how it all works. If you go on Twitter, you can see there are a lot of people talking about this and saying, why didn't you just give them away to charity? Things like that. And then you see other people saying, you know, they can resell their clothes if they want to. For me, I can see it both ways because, yeah, there are people who do pay more because of a connection something has with a celebrity. That is the value, more so than whatever the item is. But I can see it the other way too. Like, who are you to think that your used Target clothes make them worth more? And you're already really wealthy. So why don't you just give these to charity?
Before we move on to our blind item about Timothée Chalamet, I do want to quickly touch on that note I made in the beginning of this item about Kim Kardashian using Ray J's family's card. While I do have a full video about this, I feel like a lot of you don't know about this story. Kim Kardashian and her siblings, Khloe, Kourtney, and Robert, were sued by Brandy and Ray J's mother and manager, Sonia. The site alleges that she accused the Kardashian siblings of spending over $120,000 on her Amex card in 2006 and 2007. And this is while Kim worked as Brandy's personal stylist. The lawsuit detailed that Kim passed the credit card number along to her siblings, who used it to make unauthorized purchases, including shopping trips at Dash and Smooch, which I think is insane that they are so comfortably using someone else's card, especially because they didn't like grow up poor. Like, how entitled must you be? Sonia said that Ray J and Brandy did not want their mom to file this lawsuit, but she wanted to get her money back. She's not just giving them $120,000, so they had to. Sonia says that when they confronted the Kardashians, they apologized and advised us that through their attorneys they would pay the debt in full, but they never did. The case was eventually dismissed and settled out of court in 2009, but the story has resurfaced years after years because it's such a bad look.
Styling because my best friend is Brandy, and we'd always shop together. She'd always ask me to be, you know, oh, you have to help me out, be my stylist.
Referring to a lawsuit filed against Kim and Khloe in 2008 over alleged allegations that they stole money from his mother, Sonia Norwood, Ray J added, apart from them stealing money from my family, why we would probably still be together now. But when this happened, I said, I don't want to be sleeping around with you no more. You stole money from my family. So that's when we stopped speaking. The lawsuit, which accused the Kardashian sisters of racking up a $120,000 bill on Norwood's Amex card, was eventually settled at a court, but not before they were forced to admit using the money to stock their store Dash and Smooch. These trifling, grifting bitches, I can't even.
Now, this blind item involves Kylie Jenner's boyfriend, Timothée Chalamet, but it's about Julian Huff, and it reads, Oscars, the year can change, but the network reality star still thinks she's an A-list actress and treats people like crap, which is just something I do not like. On this channel, we treat people how we want to be treated, so that is with respect and consent. And kindness. You don't need to be rude to anybody. But it seems like Julian Huff just does not get it. And there was an awkward moment on the red carpet with Timothée, who had a big night at the Oscars. Not many wins, but still a big night. There were plenty of reactions on social media to this interview. Let's go ahead and react to it together.
So you literally are Bob Dylan. How did you research for this role?
Oh, I did everything. I had 5.5 years to prepare for this role, so there's no stone that was left unturned. It's the good thing about playing someone like Bob Dylan, who's so reclusive, is that there is a finite amount of information you can find, and I feel like I found all of it, and I just poured everything I had into this.
You really did, and obviously, like you're singing everything live. Having that conversation with your director, was that a surprise, or was that what you initially hoped for going into the movie?
No, the plan was to, like a lot of movies you see.
He is like pretty confident when he answers. I feel like every time he speaks, he sounds like a little bit different to me. He's very fast paced in this.
Feature music, you know, you do the music in advance in the studio. It was sort of a last minute decision for us to do the music live on set. The guitar is live, the harmonica is live, everyone's singing live.
Well, it was perfect on so many levels.
Now, this is before it got awkward, because after she complimented his depiction of Bob Dylan, she brought up his 2020 SNL performance. Now, in this sketch, Timmy starred alongside Pete Davidson, and he shouted out a bunch of lyrics, like acting like he was rapping and just making fun of like that kind of those SoundCloud rappers. We all know them. Yeah, like this is, do you guys listen to this music? I mean, no judgment here. It's just, yeah, I feel like my little brother likes like this kind of, you know, shout out to Lil Peep. I know he passed away a while ago, but you know, shout out to him.
I needed you, whoa, yeah.
Okay, you get the point. Well, Julianne asked Timmy if he could do the skeet like Bob Dylan, trying to like merge these two roles that he's played. He politely declined, answering, "You know what? I'm gonna need a check." And the awkward moment had circulated on social media. A lot of people do not like the fact that she even asked this question.
Also, this outfit, what are you wearing?
This is a little Givenchy creation by Sarah Bergen, and I wanted to go with the subtle look. I had the loud look, and then I figured I'd go subtle.
Well, it's giving very, like, you know, skirt ski, that whole, you know, moment. I was hoping that maybe you could do the skirt ski in, like, Bob Dylan. Does that work?
You know what? I'm gonna need a check.
Okay, got it. Right. You're amazing. Good luck tonight. Nominated for Best Actor.
Thank you so much. Thanks for talking to me. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
One person tweeted, "Dance for me, monkey," is a tactic that 9 times out of 10 will not go over the way the interviewer thinks it might. Another person wrote, "I'm sorry to this woman, but what a dumb question." Our next blind item is about Justin Bieber. It reads, "Nothing irks a PR team more than their client showing everyone the public was right and the PR team was lying. The north of the border singer put that into full effect this week." This person commented that PR teams are professional liars. Another comment reads, "Oh, Justin Bieber, pull it together for your son, Jack." Another comment reads, "I mean, weed is legal. Smoking weed on camera is kind of cringe. It's not much different than chugging a beer or doing a shot of a liquor. It's not like he's on meth." But this person added, "It's very potent and legal, but if a mentally ill person becomes addicted, it's a nightmare to treat." And we have been discussing Justin Bieber's bizarre behavior recently on the channel. He recently rapped about being high in his latest social media video after his spokesman said that these harmful allegations of him using drugs are hurting him and Haley. But he says, "I fly like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a bad guy," rapping alongside his friend, who looks like his friend is the one who sold him the weed.
"High like a fly guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a bad guy.
It's wild that he's posting these videos while his rep is telling TMZ that these rumors of him using drugs are exhausting and pitiful, and shows that despite the obvious truth, people are committed to keep negative, salacious, and harmful narratives alive. Fans also assumed that Justin was high when he stepped out to support his wife at her road skin pop-up event, which I hope that's over because the traffic it caused is just next level. She should be fined for that. He's also been making a bunch of posts recently, like this one where he's smoking a bong while riding a bike, which also I wonder, are you allowed to like smoke weed and drive? Like, I know that's not driving because it's a bike, but like, are you? I don't think you are. Like, you can't just like smoke a bong while you're operating a vehicle, right?
Do it. Just do it. Just do it. I swear to God, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it, bro. You're not gonna do it, you freaking idiot. You're not gonna do it.
This person commented, "I feel a Britney moment coming on." Another comment reads, "I miss the old healthy drug-free Justin. This is sad. Get a grip." Another comment reads, "Why does he keep licking the side of his mouth?" While this person asks, "What kind of drugs are you using, bro?" I don't know what Justin is going through, coping with being a new father, coping with Diddy, dealing with his wife, Haley, but we are sending some healthy and happy vibes his way. This next blind item is crazy. It's about Nick Shapiro and Blake Lively. It reads, not only did the new hire of the A-list actress cover up for R-words and unalivings, murders, but apparently he gaslighted a girlfriend so much that she unalived herself after he broke up with her. Wait, I am spinning. This comment reads, he sounds fun. Now we have concrete confirmation that Blake is a sociopath. Another comment reads, nothing screams genuine sexual harassment case like a guy hiring a guy who covers up attacks like these. Another win for Nick Shapiro. Another person added that he's a weird looking guy. Let's talk about this man, Nick Shapiro. I mean, I want to judge him off of his behavior, and according to this report, he has no morals. The world of crisis PR has always had its own set of rules, and let's face it, those rules aren't always about the truth. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds had hired Nick Shapiro as PR, and it seems like he is willing to lie to please his client. Now, Candace Owens shared her thoughts on this man being hired by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and she thought it was interesting that he's a former CIA officer and now a PR expert. Candace said it's a blatant attempt to manipulate and gaslight the public. She even argued that much like the CIA's past involvement in media manipulation during events like Operation Mockingbird, that Blake and Ryan are now leaning on Nick Shapiro's advice to mold their public narrative. Here's a TikToker giving us a little bit of background on who Nick is.
So Nick Shapiro wasn't just any government official. He was one of the highest ranking crisis strategists in the Obama administration. He was deputy chief of staff at the CIA, was national security spokesperson for President Obama, and he managed responses to high profile global crises, including terror attacks and pandemics, and he's an expert in countering disinformation, media manipulation, and reputation protection. After leaving government, he transitioned into the corporate world, working for Visa, Airbnb, and other major companies, where he became known for managing high profile scandals. Now, one of his most controversial roles was running the black box crisis team at Airbnb. This wasn't just about handling PR headaches, this was about keeping crimes out of public eye. They spent $50 million per year to cover up serious incidents, paid off victims and hosts to prevent lawsuits and media exposure, managed cases of rape, assault, and even murder. He actually described his work at Airbnb as dealing with horror similar to CIA and the White House Situation Room. And one of the notable cases were where Airbnb paid a rape victim millions of dollars in New York City in 2016 on the condition that she never sue the company or publicly blame Airbnb. Now ask yourself, why would an actress in a Hollywood legal dispute need a guy who specializes in suppressing crime reports, handling government-level PR crisis, and controlling media narratives? His hiring literally could change the entire dynamic of this case, because this isn't just going to be a legal battle, it could turn into a full-scale media war. So what we can expect is highly coordinated leaks and carefully crafted PR moves from Lively's side.
So clearly this guy has been connected to very powerful people and he knows how the industry works. This comment reads, this may mean that Blake and Ryan are hiding something that they don't want to get out and they're trying to get out of it. Another comment reads, nothing screams I'm guilty than hiring an ex-CIA agent as a crisis manager. Now, as I mentioned, Candace Owens has been talking a lot about this case recently, and she claims that Nick Shapiro, he will lie for his clients. She also claims that Blake and Ryan hiring someone like Nick Shapiro, they are outsourcing not just their crisis management, but their moral responsibility as well. She said it tells us what we should know about his character, which is essentially that he has no morals, and so this is a terrible look for Blake and Ryan. These two seem to be very intent on making every wrong move. I mean, it just shows not only how rich and wealthy they are, but the fact that they think that they can go and hire this person who has history of manipulating people, literally working for a government agency that was in charge of manipulating the public, to go and get his expertise because they are so desperate. I think the public has already picked their side. Our next blind item is about Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. It reads, Oscars. If you think Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively hate each other, it's nothing compared to these two co-stars who have had a massive movie to promote this year. It was like watching a car accident last night when they had to interact in any way that wasn't scripted. This comment reads, I watched about 10 seconds of Rachel and Gal's walk on the Oscar stage and you could taste the tension between them. Very uncomfortable and extremely obvious. Comment below if you guys want me to do a deeper dive on their friendship feud. Another comment reads that she looked really high. And let's talk about this moment where they presented together at the Oscars. The Snow White co-stars are known for their starkly different political opinions, especially on the Israeli-Palestinian crisis, and it turns out that on set there was a lot of tension because of the activism, the postings, the online boycotting things like this. The Disney film was controversial from the onset of casting, with many activists online calling for a distinct boycott when the Israeli-born Gal was handed the role. Rachel seemed to somewhat support their sentiments when, after thanking fans for their support on the movie's trailer, she posted, "And always remember, free Palestine."
Rachel Zegler just had one of the most disliked trailers in history with Snow White, but now after all the controversy, she's come out slamming Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler first met doing the movie Shazam 2 together, which was a massive flop, making only $134 million on a budget of $125 million, meaning it had $150 million in losses. Then after that, it was announced they'd be starring in Snow White, which got a lot of controversy because Snow White is set in Germany, while Rachel Zegler is half Colombian and Gal Gadot is Israeli. On top of that, Rachel Zegler isn't the best PR person, where she revealed she only watched the original movie once as a kid and also thought the prince was a creep. She said they changed the story where Andrew Burnham, who's playing the leading male role, won't be a prince anymore, won't be the hero, and she also said he might get cut from the entire movie. Because of that, the teaser trailer was one of the most disliked things in history, where 96% of people put thumbs down. On top of that, there is a boycott for the Snow White movie because Gal Gadot's in it, who is a former member of the Israeli army. Because of that, right after the trailer was released, Rachel Zegler went to Twitter and Instagram to say free Palestine. Rachel Zegler has never taken a stance on Israel-Palestine before, but seems like she was just trying to do this to throw Gal Gadot under the bus.
Since then, speculation about their interpersonal relationship has caused interest among fans. Body language expert Judy James, which I've heard of Judy before, she reports on body language, which I'm like, how do you get a career in reporting on body language? But she said these two women effectively came on stage separately. Walk-ons normally involve hand-holding or some kind of like exchanges, but they just marched out instead and didn't even pay attention to each other.
When I heard them say, presenting the next award, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, I was like, wait a minute, what? The way Rachel was like, let's just get this over with. Let's get my obligation over with.
Oh yeah, with her arms swinging, she's like, let's just get this through.
Because the way she just was like, she marched onto the stage. That girl did not walk. She was just like, I just want this over with. And then the way she was just smiling, it was like that.
They also were kind of far from each other. If you notice that one turn.
That smile, like if you're a server or you work in customer service, that's that smile you give when someone is completely pissing you off, but you're trying not to let it fully show. So you just do that. You just do that like smile, and that's literally what Rachel was giving the whole time. And I'm like, you know what, girl?
Yeah, like that phony, like, I'm just more than happy to be here, even though her body language says otherwise.
You do you. This whole interaction had me dying. Like, I don't know what they said to her to make her get on stage with this woman, but I know it had to have been interesting, because I don't even think they're going to do a press tour together.
One person wrote on Twitter, you can tell they really hate each other. Another person added, did anyone notice Rachel and Gal was standing apart and didn't even look at each other the whole time they were on stage? I don't think this is a great move for the Snow White movie, and is anyone even planning on seeing that? Our next blind item is about Justin Timberlake. It reads, this permanent A-list singer has got to cut back on the booze. He keeps canceling shows because of it. Now, we all know that Justin has had a drinking issue, especially since Britney released her book. I don't know if the two coincide, but he's stressed. This comment reads, I feel bad for his kids. Another comment reads, I doubt Justin Timberlake will remain a permanent A-list singer after this. Another person writes, he was puking because he was drinking all day, not because he had the flu. And it is interesting. I mean, how do you cancel your final show 12 minutes before the show starts? I mean, you would know if you had the flu by then, but you maybe wouldn't have known if you were able to sober up by that point. Justin canceled the final show of his tour 12 minutes before the concert was set to start. He posted on his Instagram that he canceled due to having the flu and that fans will get a full refund. But a lot of people traveled for that. They drove into town. They're all sitting in their seats ready. He wrote, or maybe some PR person wrote, you guys, I'm heartbroken. I have to cancel the show tonight. I went into sound check battling the flu and it's gone to the best of me. It kills me to disappoint you and my team who worked so hard.
There's a little bit of a conspiracy theory going on here where fans have said he didn't sell out this show nearly to the point that he thought he would. So he ended up trying to cancel it last minute because the ticket sales weren't where, him and his team wanted them to be. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say that, like he probably does have the flu, but a lot of fans were like, more than 10 minutes before if you're going to cancel a show or not. Like sound check was earlier in the afternoon, and like if you really knew that it was not feasible for you to get on that stage, and you should have canceled it before you got everyone to come to the stage and, enter the arena.
So of course fans were pissed off. I would be so pissed if I was sitting. I don't even like to go out into a concert. Like I love live music, but going to the concert, going to the venue, driving, parking, figuring out your seat, to get all of that done and then to hear that news from an Instagram post, I would be livid. And the fans took it out on his wife because Jessica posted a gushy Justin Timberlake tour post after he canceled his concert. She wrote, there's truly nothing this man can't do. It's been so special to watch you, listen to you, and to be alongside you for this tour. One last show tonight. Give it all you've got. I'm the proudest, she added. But after Justin called off the concert at the 11th hour, frustrated fans voiced their outrage in the comment section of his wife's post, saying he canceled his last show. This post did not age well. Poor guy has the flu real bad. Another person wrote, canceling because of being sick is 100% understandable. Canceling 10 minutes before the doors were to open is unacceptable. Dude, waiting to the last minute totally sucked. This is literally the second time this has happened and there's not even a reschedule. We drove 3 hours and paid for a hotel room and you tell us 5 minutes before it starts that it's canceled. They say it's unacceptable, which I agree. I would be pissed.
It's Dave here from Nationwide Arena. We are so sorry to share this news. We're just as heartbroken as you are. So we do ask that you go ahead and make your way towards the nearest exit. We thank you so much for coming tonight. Just keep an eye on Nationwide Arena social media for any updates. Thank you so much. Again, we're sorry. I look forward to seeing you again another time.
All right, everybody. Look, we understand that Justin is one of those guys that would never just... Unfortunately, sickness happened, flu happens. We tried to get him through sound check, wasn't able to do it. This is the last thing in the world we wanted to do is to cancel tonight. So we're so sorry that you made this trip and we can't do the show. But we appreciate you, all your love and respect for him. Thank you so much.
I mean, let's just acknowledge how empty that entire stadium looks. Like, there's a few people all the way up there. Like, at that point, like, just tell them to come down to the front if the show were to go on. This comment reads, he didn't want to perform for just 3 people. Another comment reads, man, all 20 of you must have been really disappointed. This comment reads, I wish he would tell the truth. He wasn't sick. And then finally, 10 people in the crowd. That's the issue. Now, the blind item suggested that he's having issues with drinking, which he did have a DWI arrest less than a year ago in June 2024 when he told the police that this was going to ruin the tour. And they said, what tour? And he said, the world tour. Our next blind item takes us back to the Kardashians, but we're talking about Alabama Barker and Travis Barker. It reads, speaking of Nepo babies, this Nepo baby of at least one A-lister has her dad go through all of her thirst trap photos because she thinks he will pick the best ones. Creepy. This commenter writes, ew, but he would know most definitely. Another comment reads, he does have the male eye that she lacks. If he has any fatherly instincts, he'll select a bunch where she's wearing sweatshirts. Another comment reads, their whole family has been so gross. Another person added that Travis Barker co-wrote a song called I Wanna F a Dog in the ASS, and you expect him to be classy? Now, it is crazy how Travis Barker is becoming familiar with this whole new world of people that Alabama Barker is fighting with. We know Alabama has been going at it with Bad Baby, and she's also been going at it with an influencer named Camilla, who is a member of the controversial Bop House. Alabama took to TikTok to not only go for Danielle, Bad Baby, but to come for Camilla, saying that her whole career has been based off of selling herself. Camilla hit back, calling Alabama a hypocrite. She pointed out that the teen's mom, Shanna Moakler, is also on OF. It turns out that you're a Nepo baby and an OF baby because your mom is busting it down on the same platform I am, Camilla wrote. Alabama then filmed a 2-hour-long video discussing the feud, claiming it's one-sided. I'm sure I'm a Nepo baby. I'm a proud one too, she added. I'm proud not to be on OnlyFans as well. Well, you should go and check your own mother then before you go and try to shame an SEX worker. Here's Camilla talking a little bit about her thoughts on Alabama.
So, she's making fun of us OF girls, which is fine. But a little birdie texted me and was like, yo, check your DMs. Please look what Miss Alabama Barker, daughter of Miss USA OF Mama, and new niece to the infamous Kim K. Look what Miss Girl's posting on her close friends. For free? Photo free? For free? For free, Pookie. And there are others, other images of her making out with girls, her showing her biddies, which no harm, no foul on this end. Babe, I'm all for it. I do it too. But don't sit here and act like you're better than everybody else when you're out here showing your ninny and your biddies and your goodies for free. Don't do that. You are not above me. You'll never be above me.
Now, this is interesting because Katy Perry, her album 143 really did not do what she needed it to. This blind item reads, at least some people were buying tickets to see the former wheelchair actor. Only bots are buying tickets to see this former A-list singer and host. Look for an injury or some kind of sickness that allows her to cancel her tour. Similar to Jennifer Lopez or Justin Timberlake energy, Katy Perry isn't selling out seats at her tour, which may lead to a fake story about her needing to cancel everything. So there's an excuse why she's not performing to 3 people in an arena. This comment reads, Katy Perry is getting ready for an around the world tour that will only last 90 minutes, sponsored by Amazon. Another comment reads that Katy needs to get involved with chatting with her fans on social media, tell them they are special and ask them to meet her at the concert, promise to give them a secret signal when she's on stage, a wink, a point, that will sell tickets. Now, I just don't think anyone can do it like Taylor does, and these headlines aren't looking good. Katy Perry faces low ticket sales for her new tour as 70% of seats remain unsold. Maybe concerts are just too expensive nowadays? I mean, I didn't really care for the album, to be honest, and I did see her perform some of it live at a local bar down the street, but as soon as people learned that Dr. Luke was a big part of this project, they did not want to support her. I mean, I watched it happen live where she announced that she was coming back. People were so happy about it, and then like a day later, they learned that Dr. Luke was a part of the project. She would not address the rumors. She continued to work with him, and it just led to her downfall. It makes me happy now that people are choosing to support artists for, you know, other reasons than just beyond the music. It's also the people behind it who's making money from it. While major cities like New York have seen better sales for Katy, other locations are lagging behind. I mean, at this rate, like Trisha Paytas is selling way more tickets than what Katy Perry is. Even here in Los Angeles, the Kia Forum has only a few handful of sections that have sold out, leaving much of the upper level and lower bowl empty.
Katy Perry has barely sold any tickets to her upcoming tour, and there is one shocking reason as to why this could be. So Katy Perry is going on her Lifetimes tour, which is basically her version of the Eras tour, meaning she'll be performing songs from all of her albums. Now, we know how hard it was to get Eras tour tickets, and Katy Perry is a very popular artist, like not as big as Taylor Swift, but she is big. So a lot of people were expecting this tour to sell out very quickly. However, these tickets are not selling. These are the tickets left in North Carolina, these are the tickets left in Arizona, and these are the tickets left in Minneapolis. So why are these tickets not selling? Like, is there a specific reason? Well, I think there is a specific reason, and I think I figured out what it is. Katy Perry is still working with Dr. Luke even after all of the allegations that were made against him.
This comment reads, nah, she's not relevant anymore. Another comment reads, I'd go if it's $50 or less. Chris commented, maybe because everyone is losing their jobs right now and can't afford much. Comment below, especially if you're working for the government, if you are having some issues with your job right now, because I hear some things in the news and it makes me so sad for everyone. I want to see if anyone's affected. And then another comment writes, her and J-Lo are aging out. With the tour just months away, these sales come after Katy Perry faced backlash from fans over her decision to collaborate with Dr. Luke. While on Call Her Daddy, Alex Cooper confronted her about working with Dr. Luke despite the allegations against him, the Kesha's story, and everything else. Rather than giving a clear-cut answer, Katy Perry sidestepped the question by emphasizing that he was just one of many collaborators on the project. So she got even more backlash because she won't even acknowledge the problematic side of Dr. Luke. She just wants to try to skirt around the answer.
I want to ask you about one collaborator in particular. I know a lot of people have expressed disappointment and were really upset that you decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with. But the reality is it comes from me. The truth is I wrote these songs from my experience of my whole life going through this metamorphosis. And he was one of the people to help facilitate all that, one of the writers, one of the producers. And I am speaking from my own experience. Like when I speak about Woman's World, I speak about feeling so empowered now as a mother, as a woman, giving birth, creating life, creating another set of organs, a brain, a heart. I created a whole ass heart and I did it and I'm still doing it and I'm still a matriarch and feeling really grounded in that. That's where I'm speaking from. Yeah. And so I created all of this with several different collaborators, people that I've collaborated with from the past, from Teenage Dream era, all of that.
So a lot of people were frustrated by her response, saying, "So much was said, yet none of it justifies working with Dr. Luke." Another person writes, "So she basically didn't answer the question." Quote, "She was insane to think that Dr. Luke was a good idea. She didn't listen to anyone. Instead of diving deep in creating art, she put something out that sounded like it could have been an album of hers from 2010. Now, just yesterday or the day before, we posted a video about Gene Hackman and this blind, which rest in peace, Gene Hackman and his wife and his dog. But this blind item reads, "It is looking more likely that an offspring had something to do with the death of the celebrity parent." That is scary to imagine, like one of your own children coming after you. It's giving me a little bit of a Gypsy Rose energy. This comment reads that Gene Hackman's son has been suspiciously absent. The heir to the Hackman's estate was likely his wife. Now, with her conveniently gone, the estranged children who couldn't give a damn about their father will swoop in to collect the money. The dog locked in the closet, someone put him in there to keep him from defending Gene Hackman and his wife. This case is going to break in a whole other direction unless cops screw it up. Unfortunately, it's the same department and prosecutor who were on the Alec Baldwin case. Another comment reads, "I heard something interesting about Gene's business manager being the name on the ownership of the house, in that the manager's son lives next door to Gene, and yet in 2 weeks of not seeing the neighbors, no one rang the alarm sooner." Another comment reads, "It's fascinating to me that someone of his age didn't have a caretaker of some sort that was other than his wife. Seems like some medical professional would be there. And they keep saying that she was mummified, but not him. The current story is that he had a heart attack. She went to go get drugs and fell over and hit a fan or a heater thing. She collapsed and then he got up to check on her." We went through the suspected timeline in my video and a lot of it does not add up. And I want to show you guys this headline. Gene Hackman's daughters are seen going on a breakfast run to Denny's a day after their father and his wife's dead bodies were found. Authorities concluded that autopsies on each of the couple's bodies revealed no external trauma was seen on either. They're still waiting for a toxicology report to see if maybe they were drugged and killed.
Tonight, new clues into the mysterious deaths of actor Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and their dog. The sheriff revealing that Hackman had likely been dead for at least 10 days before a maintenance worker found the couple Wednesday afternoon in their Santa Fe home, pointing to data from his pacemaker.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th, 2025. That is a very good assumption that that was his last day of life.
The sheriff also saying that an initial autopsy revealed no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning in either body, and that investigators have removed several items from their home, including heart and thyroid medications, Tylenol, medical records, 2 cell phones, and a calendar.
We're doing a timeline from the time of death and the autopsy and the results, and we're going to start working our way backwards.
According to the search warrant, 95-year-old Hackman and his 65-year-old wife were found in separate rooms. Arakawa found in the bathroom with prescription pills scattered on the counter, her body showing signs of mummification. Based on what you know about the conditions of both the bodies, who do you believe died first?
That's a very hard thing to determine because that's a question that we want answered.
This comment reads, "As an RN here, his pacemaker stopped working on February 19th. The doctor would have been notified ASAP. Why he and she didn't check up on him is a mystery to me." New photos obtained by Daily Mail show Hackman's daughters, Elizabeth and Leslie, walking into a Denny's restaurant, which I haven't been to a Denny's in years. The sisters, who claimed their reclusive father had been in good shape before his death, seemed to be coping well and even managed to raise a smile as they left the diner. So they are just chilling. Leslie said in an interview on Thursday to the Daily Mail that the family was still waiting to hear about the father's cause of death and that she was still processing what had happened. His daughter said that there's no indication that there was any problem with her father prior to his death. Despite his age, he was in very good health, she revealed. She claimed that he liked to do Pilates and yoga and that he was continuing to do those several times a week. But she's not entirely shocked by his death because he was 95 years old. She lives in California and she said it's been a few months since she had last seen or even heard from her father, despite them being close, saying, "We were close, but we hadn't talked for a couple months, but everything was normal and good," which I think that's kind of bizarre to not talk for a couple months. But you know, families, they operate differently. Leslie said that we will wait and have to find out whatever information the police have. We weren't expecting to have to go out there and go to New Mexico and go through the house and all of that. So we have some work cut out for us, but yeah, we will be going out to New Mexico. No indication has been given to what pills were there and whether they had been prescribed to Gene or his wife, or if there was an overdose of some kind. But there was a 911 call made after a frantic man called telling the dispatcher that he had found 2 bodies which were not moving while pleading for help. Here is a clip of that 911 call.
Hello, my name is
the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit up here about past 10,000 waves. I think we just found one deceased person inside the house. What's the address here?
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, I'm over at the property. There's no address here. So I have to meet the ambulance or the police, whoever, down at the gatehouse. I'll bring them up here.
Okay. How old is the patient?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Is the patient a male or a female?
A female and a male, probably. I don't know, sir. Just send somebody up here real quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Now, we don't know who the caller is. TMZ reported that the caller, whose identity was redacted, was emotional and repeatedly exclaimed, "Damn," while sniffing away tears. And it looks like investigators fear that these two may have laid dead in this house for up to 2 weeks alone, which is horrific to think about. Our love and prayers are going out to the Hackman family, and I hope there is justice if justice is needed here, if something sketchy went down. But I want to hear what you guys think of this week's blind item breakdown in the comments below. Did you enjoy? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Also, if you want to go and do us a favor, go and rate us on Spotify. This episode should be on Spotify. Go follow and rate the show. It really helps us out. So thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.